Nemo slash Noah, Grand Rider from arcade, now over on the mobile game. For me personally, he's not going to be Grand Rider. I have a little bit of an issue with his bouncy and the practicality of it. Basically, like, you can't bring his main supports into Grand Rider, so him getting the Grand Rider CE is literally him getting a 50 battery, or you having to bring servants that might not fully synergize well with him. Like Tiamat, Koyan Dark, Koyan Light, for that matter too. These are the type of servants that he gets buffed up and he buffs them up too. But unfortunately, because of Grand Rider, you don't have that many options. I'm just gonna bring up animal characteristics just because this has most of the servants in there, and you can kind of see, like, if you really want Noah to pop off in Grand Rider and get full effects, you have to have Ivan, Red Hair, or Dobrynia on the field. Otherwise, you don't have animal characteristics for Grand Rider. I'll double check Wild Beast and Demonic Beast, but I'm pretty sure like both of these fall under here. And they're like there is no character that doesn't fall into it. Yeah, same thing. All of them are Wild Beasts. Ivan is not a Demonic Beast, but these two are also Demonic Beasts. So yeah, that is just my main concern for Grand Rider. Don't let your experience using him in Grand Rider battles though dictate that, because that is pretty much only like him supporting the animal characteristics. His personal damage doesn't change that much if you don't have it. It's just like he's a very potent buffer, and it's like more you're wasting his potential, letting him do stuff like Mordred Rider could do, Da Vinci Rider could do, Habetrot could do, and the list can just keep going on. I'm someone that always thinks if a character has a niche, you should always be trying to make them used in that niche. And if not, it's because like you kind of just don't care. His buffs, and like he has a similar setup to Summer Ibuki in his like looping profile, but he's not fully Summer Ibuki. So like refund is not like, don't expect Summer Ibuki refund unless you're only fighting casters. 11.6k attack, HP low. Very surprising how low it is. Like this is closer to what you see with Avengers and Berserkers of their HP being this low. I can't, off the top of my head, I don't remember if there are Berserkers that have more attack than HP at 5-star level. I know that happens at 4-star, but I'm blinking if that happens at the 5-star level. But yeah, this is the HP those Berserkers would have, mostly because their attack is just so high. Star weight, star gen, these are normal rider numbers. MP charge, like I said, it's very close to Summer Ibuki's, but he does not have like the MP gain that she has. But he's mostly fighting casters, so he might not need it to that extent. And also, if you need the gain, just plug suit someone in, or just brute force charge. We're kind of at that point where like you don't need to invest that much in looping support when you can just bring like raw charge with Oberon. Lawful good for his CE, so he can get he can use the Gordolf CE to bond farm for. Trying to think what else he would have. Oh, the new CE. Yes, that new CE with you Olga on it. He is star attribute. He would fit that CE, even though he's not evil. He would fit that CE. So that's 40 right now. Obviously, he's a rider, so that's another 60. I am surprised that he's star. I did not know that, so that's gonna help. When I'm doing my grand battles, I'll remember to throw that CE on because he's charging in the back line. But yeah, no, plus 60%. That is higher than I thought it was. Hit counts on the arts cards, they're 4 hit. So unless you have a lot of arts up and he's critting, Mostly he's critting. Don't expect miracles from this. You need to crit, but he also wants to crit. It's different from like Summer Ibuki, how she, like, if she crits, it's whatever. No, no, no. This guy has like, can get like stupid crit numbers in the right circumstance. Like Grand Battle specifically, by himself, as long as all the animals are up, he gets 175% crit damage. Because we'll get into it, but you stack, if you're in a fight like that and you can use Summer Tiamat, you're almost hitting 400% with just one Tiamat. So yeah, let's move on. Also, quick card's really good. Buster card's good. It's just held back a little by the stats, but that's mostly a Rider thing. Like, he's no assassin. He's not gonna gen a lot of stars, but Mighty Chain probably will definitely gen some stars. So, first skill. First part is basically tactics, but like a better version of, like, especially Nemo's. I am now doing monthly $5 giveaways as a way to give back to my channel. I recently hit 500 subs and I want to keep giving back to the people that support me. All you have to do is comment on one of my videos during the month. Doesn't even have to be a video I make that month, and you are entered to win. 5 people can win every month with 1 win per person per month. Only 1 comment is counted as an entry every month. I will send you the prize in a way that works for both of us. Thank you for watching. Now let's get back to the video. Buff tactics. This part is better. Straight up, this is better than the buff version of it. Because his normal Nemo is 15 and 15 for 3 turns. And before it was 12 and 12 for 1 turn. This is just flat out 20 off rip. And you get overcharge. Bring you up Summer Tiamat again. This means that you have 5 levels of overcharge running with Summer Tiamat. That is way more than you fucking need. So you could probably like hold off on the overcharge for one of those Tiamats and just, it's like 20% arts and quick that you're losing out on, but you're not, but because you do that, you're not wasting all that excess crit damage that you would from double popping the Tiamats. Because when both of them pop it, both of them are going to be at overcharge 5. So order doesn't matter, and you're wasting some overcharge, like extra stacks of overcharge. Like, something to note, like, this is all used up at once. It's not, oh, you're already at 500%, it's going to save it. No, it's going to be, these overcharge stacks get used the second you use your MP. So you have, like, be aware of that if you want to make the most, especially Tiamat, because her scaling is like different. It's not 50 to 100, it's 50 to 150. So it is, there's no scaling with her overcharge. It is each level 25%. So you losing out on 2 stacks, you're losing out on like 50% crit damage that you could have. But again, there is a cap for crit damage, so a lot of this is just testing, see what works, see what, like, you hit the cap on. I would use Chaldea app, because that would be showing you the percentages a lot easier than trying to do it in game. But this is all just talking about generic support. This is not talking about him buffing animals. When he buffs animals, 3 more effects. Another 20% attack for the animals. And animals is Wild Beast, Demonic Beast, and Animal Characteristics. But basically, for your servants, all of them would fall under here. All Wild Beast and Demonic Beast servants are Animal Characteristics. There might be a few that aren't, but when I skimmed over it, it looked like all of them were in here. All, like, these 2 are squares, or this is a square, and this is a rhombus, and this is a rectangle, or a quadrilateral, whatever. All these are all this, but not all animal characteristics traits fall into here. Next, cleanse and heal per turn, 2k per turn. This is a lot of healing that you just get from a skill. This is 6k healing, like, flat, or not flat, but 6k healing over 3 turns. That's a lot of healing. That, like, basically all the chip damage you would take if you have, like, defense buffs. Second skill, 100% debuff res, 2k heal for himself, 1k heal per turn for 3 turns, 50 battery, 20 for the party, and if you're an animal servant or animal, yeah, I'm just going to say animal ally, another 10%, so 30. Very, very good, strong multi-core utility for animal servants. Like, as a normal sub DPS, he's fine. I don't want to say he's better than Buff Nemo, but it really is, like, one's buffing on Waterside, one buffs based on your allies. So they really are just, like, both sub DPSs, but they're different flavors of it. Especially because one's single target, the other's AoE. And honestly, you don't even want to run both of them together, because neither one, like, unless you're on Waterside, neither one is going to hit what they need. And Melt, Lancer and Talok are not animal characteristics, so they're not going to be able to give Waterside to Nemo. It's just negative synergy. Funny enough that the characters that have the same name do not work together when they're both sub DPSs. Last one, 30% arts. Whenever he attacks with arts cards, including his MP, 6 stars. So just from doing an art chain, he gens 18 stars, by default. And maybe the extra attack might clean that up and bring it up to maybe 22, 23. Interval for 2 attacks, 3 turns. Whenever he has whenever an animal unit is alive on the field, does not have to be even on your side. Could be on the other field or on the enemy side. He gets another 20% arts. Then he has a scaling crit buff based on the number of animals on the field, including the other side. This is why in Grand Raids, Noah has 175% crit damage. If you bring Ryder Lubu or Dobrynya, 200%. But should you? Probably not. All 3 of those characters are AoEs, so, like, they made him good for Grand Battle, but they also gimped him for Grand Battle. Unless you want to use, like, red hair as, like, an esports, and even still, like, yeah, no, it just doesn't. It wouldn't make sense. Yeah, like, and this is specific for Grand Battle when you can only use riders. In general, this is not going to be an issue. And honestly, like, the animal part, like, this is a lot of, like, just enemies. Like, animal characteristic servant and demonic beast servant. Obviously, these are 2 servants. But wild beast is these generic trash mobs. So it's as long as you're not purely fighting servants, Noah more likely than not is going to have this arts buff up. It's in more boss fights against specific servants that he's not going to have it. So yeah, he does have, like, a lot of stuff that just makes him work. Yeah, so just going to move on. I do have to get ready for work very soon. All these failed recordings are pushing my timer back and back. So, yeah. All right. Quick up 10%. Debuff res up 17.5%. Independent action EX 12% crit. And Divinity Fruticule. Pens for me, like, multi-core, so I just default to mana loading. Since he's an art servant, I do like giving him this. If I decide to run him with Tomomo, which, by the way, Tomomo is a demonic an animal characteristic servant. So she can make sure he has an even higher arts buff. Yeah. Also, his cooldowns are, like, fairly low. Yeah, like, 6 is the highest. So a pen 5 brings it down to 5. And then just Tomomo MP when you can, and you should have, like, very, very high uptime on all this stuff. Like, you don't need to flood the field with animal characteristics. But like Tamamo, Tiamat, and Nemo, like you should be pretty. I don't see that team dying. Not unless they like you're fighting someone with Invo Pierce. And even still, like you might just kill them before they can kill you with like how much crit is going on in the field. NP power mod against giant, power mod against super large, damage to all enemies, 10 battery for the party, another 10 battery if you're wild beast. So again, this is even more synergy. Tamamo in an arch chain is with his MP is guaranteed getting at least 40% gain that turn. Yeah, no, the only problem would be, oh, would I want to pop Nemo before or after Tamamo? That depends on if your Nemo refunds 100%. Yeah, honestly, like if your Nemo can out like it, yeah, it would depend because Tamamo, especially with Noah being wanting to do crits, she's probably not arch chaining as often as she could. So, right, like yeah, like MP plus Noah's plus Prisma Cosmos, she gets like that's like 60% that turn. Like I honestly think you can get some really cool spam with Tamamo, and his ramp up is MP damage. So the more he's spamming his MP, the better. The more he spams his MP, the more Tamamo spams her MP. Tiamat probably helping Tamamo get back to her MP from the few crits Tamamo is able to do. Yeah, no, this feels like it would be an engine that just is self-sufficient. Max level, just do grand battles, raids, and a lot of these are dropping. I need so many of these though. But luckily the ticket has me covered. All right, so Bond CE. If you are for a grand battle, this is extremely lackluster. You do not get this part. You are only getting a 10% arts. So if you're someone that wants Noah as a grand servant, just and most people aren't gonna have this already, but some people do because of the previous raid. I for one got my melt from 7 to 11. I can 100% and not even just 11 like or 7 to like almost to 11, like she's like 400,000 away. So I can definitely see like people already having like bond 10 or 11 Nemos. I also did the same with Arquid when it came to her raid. So yeah, like this is definitely a good Bonsi. It is just not a good Bonsi for grand raids. And it's only because of the lack of animal characteristics that are in the rider class. Like none of them, like all three of them are all AOE. So it's not like you could have done some DPS with that in the first place. All right. I am going to call it here. Hopefully you guys had good luck in the raid. Enjoy Grand Rider battles. And if you went for Noah, hopefully you had good luck. If you didn't, I'm sorry for taking all the luck. My bad. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.